Tova. That means to a good year, the Shana Tova. We usually say the Shana Tova Tikativu, which means may be inscribed or written for a good year, Tukah, which means and a sweet year. May you be inscribed for a good year and a sweet year. We're on page 2. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech haolam Melech haolam Shehecheyanu v'kimanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. Blessed are you, Lord our God, everlasting King, who has kept us and sustained us, preserved us to come to this season. Father, thank you. Thank you for this day that you set apart, the most important day of the year, Rosh Hashanah. Amen.
Song of the day, Psalm 92. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ונאמתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, ועלי גיליון ודינון. A song for the Shabbat day. It is good to thank the Lord and make music to your name on this time, to declare your loving kindness in the morning and your faithfulness by night. Upon the 10 strings and upon the harp, and with the music of the small harp. For you, Lord, have made me glad by what you have done. I will sing for joy at the works of your hands. How great are your works, O Lord! Your thoughts are very deep. The senseless man has no knowledge, nor can a stupid man understand. That when the wicked sprang up my grasp, and all who knew me was flourished. It was only that they might be destroyed forever. You, O Lord, are on high forever. For behold your enemies, Lord, behold, your enemies will perish, and all who do iniquity will be scattered. But you have raised my high horn, like that of the Redeemed, the wild oryx. I have been anointed with oil, and my eye has looked upon my enemies, while my ears hear the evildoers who rise against me. Salib Kakamah Niflah, the Eretz Balmanon Yisrael, Shurim Beit Adonai, the Hashot Eloheinu Yachliku. The righteous man will flourish like a date palm, and grow like the cedar in the Lebanon. Planted in the house of the Lord, they will flourish in the courts of our God. They will yield fruit in old age, full of sap and very green, to declare that the Lord is upright. He is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him.
It is good to praise the Lord and make music to your name, O God Most High, to proclaim your love and faithfulness all the day and through the night. front of your siddur. Is this one? Okay. Look back at the front of your siddur. Rosh Hashanah, this most important day of the year, has a lot of titles. And you can tell what the themes are, and what the scriptures are, and what the things that are important that we're supposed to get are from the title. So look at these titles. And by the way, these are all from scripture. Head of the year, which is basically the new year. Yom Teruah, which means day of the awakening blast. Not just the day of the trumpet sound. Day of the awakening. Wake up is what this sound in particular says. Day of the awakening blast. The king, Hamelech, that means the king. The last trump, that is a biblical Jewish title for Rosh Hashanah. The last trump. It's not a bunch of trumpets and then you got one in the last of the series. Last trump is an actual title for Rosh Hashanah. Yom HaZikaron, which means Day of Remembrance, and Yom HaKisei, which means Day of Concealment. This is a new moon, when the moon is concealed. So the fact that the moon is concealed preaches to us all kinds of doctrines about what's coming in the near future. We're going to do the Shema. Could somebody come read Wake Up You Sleepers, please? Somebody come read that.
Wake up, you sleepers, from your slumber, and rouse yourself from your lethargy. Scrutinize your deeds and return in repentance. Remember your Creator, those of you who forget the truth in the vanity of the times, who go astray all year in vanity and emptiness. Look into your soul and mend your ways. Let each one of you forsake his evil path and his unworthy purpose. Return to God that he might have mercy on you. Wake up, sleeper, and rise from the dead, and Messiah will shine his light on you. Therefore be careful how you walk, not as unwise people, but as wise, making the most of your time, because the days are evil. So then do not be foolish, but understand what God's will is.
That first prayer is from the Jewish prayer book. The second scripture is from Ephesians, and basically it's exactly the same thing. So Shaul, when he wrote that, this is why we consider that a Rosh Hashanah passage. The shofar is blown, and it's supposed to wake us up. Wake up! Let's stand for the Shema, please. Baruch hu et Adonai Hamborach. Bless the Lord who is to be blessed. Let's do it again. Baruch hu et Adonai Hamborach. Bless the Lord who is to be blessed.
For all eternity.
Blessed are you, O Lord our God, everlasting King. By your word you bring on the evening twilight. With your chachma you open the gates of heaven. With understanding you order all the cycles of time and you vary the seasons, setting the stars in their courses in the sky according to your yetzer, your will. You create night and day. You roll away the light from before the darkness and the darkness from before the light. By your will the day passes into night. Adonai Tzebaot is his name. El Chai v'Kayam Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Ha'ma'ori V'Arevei. O ever-living God, may you rule over us to all eternity. Blessed are you, Lord, who brings on the evening twilight. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Blessed be the name of his glorious kingdom forever and ever. If you can do the Hebrew with me, you can do it. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננת לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשבתך ובקומך ושקרת עוד על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזותיך ואיש עריך. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength. In Hebrew, your me'odecha, your ganas, your extra, your oomph. And these words that I set up for you today shall be upon your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your children. You shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk in the way, when you lie down, when you rise up. You shall bind them as a sign upon your hand and as frontlets between your eyes. You shall write them upon your doorposts and in your gates. And may we see. You, O Lord, are without beginning and without end. Before you, time and change are as nothing. 1,000 years in your sight are just like yesterday when it passed by. In other words, exactly 24 hours. 1,000 years is exactly like 24 hours.
One day.
That's right. Your sight yesterday when it passed by. But for man, his years are numbered. Every hour is precious, for you have set a limit to his days on earth. On Rosh Hashanah, we become aware of the flight of time, the vanity of possessions, the uncertainty of life. We feel the need for pursuing that which is timeless and indestructible. May our prayers on these holy days arouse within us resolve for good deeds, looking for the appearing of the glory of our great God in Yeshua, the Messiah, who gave himself for us to redeem us from every lawless deed and purify for himself a people for his own possession, zealous for good works, good deeds. Mitzvot. True and certain it is that there is one God and there is none like him.
It is he who redeemed us.
This is a responsive reading. You say the second part. True and certain it is that there is one God and there is none like him.
It is he who redeemed us from the might of
Greater the things that God has done. His wonders are without number. In all ages, the Lord has been our hope. He has rescued us from enemies who sought to destroy us. We saw God's might as he redeemed us from Egypt. We gave thanks to him, willingly accepting his kingship. Mi chamocha ba'ani Adonai, mi chamocha nedar ba'kolesh. Nora tehilot, Osei veleh. Who is like you among the gods, O Lord? Who is like you, mighty in holiness, awesome in praise, doing wonders? Now, the Shemona Esrei is like the guts of prayer. It's like the internal part. Every prayer, every festival, every Shabbat is built around the Shemona Esrei. So when we do this, we stand together because there are blessings in which we go like this. We say, Baruch, you bend your knee, because the word Baruch means to bend the knee. Baruch atah Adonai. So we bend the knee and then we bow. At atah, that means you. Baruch atah Adonai. You're right. So there's several prayers that we do like that. Yes, thank you. Let's start a conga line. Before you do the Shemona Esrei, you take 3 steps forward and 3 steps back. This is a picture of going from the time of Yeshua into the kingdom. Because it's 3 days from the year Yeshua died, the year 4000, 3 days later, or 3,000 years later, into the kingdom. So we're basically acting out going into kingdom and getting stuff and bringing it back. So we do that before we start. We say this prayer and then we take 3 steps. Ready? Adonai Svatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha. Lord, open my lips that I may declare your praise. Now we bend the knee. Blessed are you, Lord our God, God of our fathers, God of Abraham, God of Isaac, God of Jacob, great, mighty, awesome God, supreme God, who gives gracious kindness, greater than everything that is, who remembers the kindnesses of the patriarchs, and who in love brings a redeemer to their children's children for his name's sake. Remember us for life, O King, who desires life. Inscribe us in the Sefer Chaim, the book of life, for your sake. O King, Helper, Savior, Shield, blessed are you, Lord, Shield of Abraham. Baruch atah Adonai melech Abraham. Go ahead and do the second one. Go ahead. Say the prayer. Keep reading. God's name upon all. Glory upon the righteous. And so, Lord our God, grant honor to your people, glory to those who fear you, joy to your land, great strength to David your servant, and establish light for the son of Yishai, Jesse, your anointed Messiah Yeshua, son of David, speedily in our days. God's name upon all. And then the righteous will see and be glad. Injustice will shut its mouth. Wickedness will go up in smoke. When you remove the rule of evil from the earth, God will reign. Adonai our God, you are He alone who will reign over all in Mount Zion, where your glory dwells. In Jerusalem, the holy city, as it is written in the holy word, Yemloch Adonai le'olam Elohecha, Tzion l'dor v'dor. Hallelujah. The Lord shall reign forever. Your God, O Zion, throughout all generations. Praise the Lord. Together, silently, to yourself. Yourself. I mean, not silently, out loud, I'm sorry. Glory and awesome is your name. Aside from you, there is no God. As it is written, the Lord of hosts will be exalted in judgment. The Holy God will
and the Holy God sanctified in righteousness.
Blessed are you, Lord, Holy King. Baruch atah Adonai, HaMelech HaKadosh. That means the Holy King. אתה בחרתנו מכל העמים, אהבת אותנו, ורצית בנו, ורוממתנו מכל הלשונות, וקידישתנו בזכותך, אדם ישוע המשיח קדשך, וקרבתנו מלכנו לעבודתך, בשמחה הגדול והקדוש עלינו קראת עם הרוח Yeshua. You have chosen us from every people, loved us and exalted us above every tongue, set us apart with your mitzvot and the blood of Yeshua, your holy Messiah. You, O King, have drawn us near to your service and proclaimed your great and holy name upon us by the Spirit of Yeshua. ותיתן לנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה השבת הזה ואת יום הזיכרון הזה ואת יום טוב מקרא קודש הזה, זיכרון תרוah, באהבה מקרא קודש וזכר, זכר יציאת מצרים. And you, Lord our God, have given us in love this Shabbat day and this day of remembrance, this festival, a holy rehearsal, a day for remembrance, the awakening blast of the shofar in love, a holy rehearsal to remember the exodus from Egypt.
Remembrance. Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu, Ya'aleh ve'yirah ve'yishma, ve'yisakar zikronenu, ufim domeinu ve'zikron avotenu, ve'zikron Mashiach Yeshua, ve'David avdecha ve'zikaron, Yerushalayim yirkashecha, ve'zikaron kol am habei Yisrael, le'vanecha lif micha le'tovah le'hen u'chesed u'rachamim u'haim tovim u'shalom be'yom hazikaron hazeh be'yom kol micha kodesh hazeh. Our God and God of our fathers, may their sin be heard and remembered before you. The remembrance of us, remembrance of our fathers, remembrance of the Messiah Yeshua, Son of David, your servant, the remembrance of Jerusalem, your holy city, the remembrance of all your people, the house of Israel, for deliverance, glory, grace, kindness, mercy, good life, and peace on this day of remembrance.
Can we say the next part together, please? Our God, reign over all the earth in your glory and majesty. May everyone declare the Lord God of Israel is King, and his kingship and dominion over us. Set us apart with your established things, and grant us to share in the Torah. Satisfy us for your goodness, and gladness with your Yeshua, and purify our hearts to serve you with truth. Lord our God, in love and favor, grant us your holy Shabbat and festivals as a heritage, and may Israel, sanctifiers of your name, rest on it. Blessed are you, Lord, King over all the earth, who sets apart the Shabbat, Israel, and the day of remembrance. Baruch atah melech al-kol haaretz, mikadesh ha-Shabbat Yisrael v'yom ha-Zikaron. Let's continue to like out loud together on your own, please.
Blessed are you, Lord, who restores your eternal triumphs.
Baruch atah Adonai, hamachazil sheni tov tzion. We bow and gratefully thank you. We gratefully thank you. That you are the Lord our God, as you were the God of our fathers for all eternity. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our Yeshua in every generation. We thank and praise you for our lives which are committed to your power, for our souls that are entrusted to you, for your miracles that are with us every day. You are the good and compassionate one, for your kindnesses never end. May your name be blessed and exalted, our King, continually, forever and ever. And inscribe all the children of your covenant for a good life, for a good year. Everything alive will gratefully acknowledge you and praise your name forever. For you are good, O God. You are our everlasting salvation, Yeshua, help. Blessed are you, Lord. Your name is good, and to you it is fitting to give thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, atov shimcha ucha na'ah lahodot. Grant lasting peace to your people Israel forever. For you are King, Master of all shalom. Bless us, our Father, as one. With the light of your face, for by it you gave us the Torah of life, loving kindness, righteousness, blessing, life, shalom. In the book of life, blessing, peace, and prosperity, deliverance, and good decrees, may we and all your people, the house of Israel, be remembered and inscribed before you for a good life, for shalom. Blessed are you, Lord, who blesses his people Israel with shalom. Baruch atah Adonai, hamivorach et amo Yisrael. My God, guard my tongue from evil and my lips from speaking lies. To those who curse me, let my soul be silent. Let my soul be like dust to everyone. Open my heart to your Torah. Then my soul will run after your mitzvot. May the words that proceed from my mouth and the meditations of my heart be found to be acceptable to you, my rock, my redeemer.
Shalom v'broma, Uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael.
He who makes shalom in the heavens, may he make peace for us and for all Israel. Let us say, Amen. May it be your will, Lord our God, God of our fathers, that the holy temple be rebuilt speedily in our days, and grant us a share in your Torah. You may be seated.
Psalm 24. The earth is the Lord's and all contained, the world and those who dwell in it. For he founded it upon the seas and established it upon the rivers. Who may ascend into the hill of the Lord? And who may stand in his holy place? He who has clean hands and a pure heart. This is the generation of those who seek him, who seek your face, even Jacob. Lift up your heads, O gates, and be lifted up, O everlasting doors, that the King of glory may come in. Who is the King of glory? The Lord strong and mighty, the Lord mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, O gates, and lift them up, O everlasting doors, that the King of glory may come in. Who is this King of glory? The Lord of hosts, he is the King of glory.
The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength and defense of my life. Whom shall I dread? When evil rulers came around me to devour me, enemies tremble and terror. Though a host encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. For God is my shield. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength and defense of my life. Whom shall I dread? The earth is the Lord's and all it contains, the world and all who dwell therein. He is founded upon the sea that upon the river. Who may stand in his holy place? Oh, lift up your head, O Jerusalem. The inauguration Lord, that the King of glory may come in. The Lord is strong and mighty. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength defense of my life. Whom shall I dread? Again. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength and defense of my life. Whom shall I dread? When evildoers came upon me to devour me, enemies tremble and fell. Though a host encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. God is my shield. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength and defense of my life. Whom shall I dread? The earth is the Lord and all that He made. The world and every one therein. He is founded upon the seas and upon the rivers. Who may stand in His holy place? Oh, lift up your head, O Jerusalem. He lifted up a wings and roars. Let the King of glory may come in. The Lord strong and mighty. We're not doing that one now. Kingships. Responsive reading.
What page? What page?
Can somebody read that, please?
14?
Page 14. Can somebody read that, please? Read it.
He manifested himself with the sound of the shofar, the Lord amidst the sound of the shofar.
Sing it unto God. Sing praises. Everybody together.
Hold on. I'm not sure why you guys don't know how to do a responsive reading. In synagogue and temple, they do this constantly. Somebody says something and everybody responds.
Okay.
I think they do it in church too, but I'm not sure. I've never been in one. So, somebody says the first part, they do. Somebody says the first part, and then everybody responds with the second.
Why doesn't everybody stand up?
Yes, that's
Stand up. Okay, I'll do the responsive. Go ahead.
He manifested himself with the sound of the shofar, the Lord amidst the sound of the shofar.
Sing unto God. Sing praises. Sing unto our King. Sing praises.
For God is the King over all the earth. Sing praises with sweet melody.
God rules over the nations. God is enthroned in holiness.
The princes of the people are gathered together with the people of the God of Abraham.
God is the shield of the earth. He is greatly exalted.
You know how they say there's going to be a quiz afterward? The teaching is the quiz. You're supposed to be paying attention to all these prayers, all these scriptures, because they they tell a story. And the teaching is just going to be a continuation of the story that we're reading right now.
Will everybody get to nap?
You may be seated. All right, some people were going to read Malchuyot, kingship verses. Now, this is the guts of the Rosh Hashanah part of the service. The guts of a regular service is the Amidah that we just finished. And now this is the guts of the Rosh Hashanah portion. There are three things in the guts. Malchuyot, which is kingship, and Zikronot, which is remembrances, and Shofarot, which is shofars or trumpets. Did we have people assigned to read these?
Yes.
Okay, come on up. Those who are going to read these passages, come on up. Go to the mic. Yes, who had the first one? Come on up.
Exodus 15:18. The Lord shall reign forever and ever. Just that one.
Did anybody have Numbers 23? That's okay, I can do it from memory. No, I can't. I know it's something about the king. Oh, this is Balaam's prophecy when he's talking about the king shall reign in Yeshurun, I believe. Is that right?
Numbers 23:21. He has not observed misfortune in Jacob, nor has he seen trouble in Israel. The Lord his God is with him, and the shout of a king is among them.
I was so close. Deuteronomy 33, did anybody have that? Okay. Can somebody read that? Can you do that?
Deuteronomy 33:5. He was king over Yeshurun when the leaders of the people assembled along with the tribes of Israel.
Okay, Psalm 22.
Psalm 22, 27 through 28. All the ends of the earth will remember and turn to the Lord, and all the families of the nations will worship before thee. For the kingdom is the Lord's, and he rules over the nations. Psalms 24, 7 through 10. Lift your heads, O gate, and be lifted up, O ancient doors, that the King of glory may come in. Who is the King of glory? The Lord, strong and mighty, the Lord, mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, O gates, and lift them up, O ancient doors, that the King of glory may come in. Who is the King of glory? The Lord of hosts. He is the King of glory.
Awesome.
Psalms 93:1. The Lord reigns. He is clothed with majesty. The Lord has clothed and girded himself with strength. Indeed, the world is firmly established. It will not be moved.
Very good. Isaiah 44. Does somebody have that? And then somebody get Zechariah and then Obadiah ready.
Isaiah 44:6. Thus says the Lord, the King of Israel and his Redeemer, the Lord of hosts. I am the first and I am the last, and there is no God besides me.
Zechariah 14.
Zechariah 14:9. The Lord will be king over the whole earth. On that day there will be one Lord, and his name the only name.
Obadiah 1:21. Nobody wants that. Obadiah? I don't have it. I don't have a Bible. Somebody's got to do it. Obadiah 1:21. I know why you're not doing it, because you can't find Obadiah. No. One page.
Obadiah 1:21. Deliverers will go up on Mount Zion to govern the mountains of Esau, and the kingdom will be the Lord's.
Okay, I hope you got all those. I hope you got the picture in your head. They're all about what? What were all those about? The king. Next song, please.
Let's sing for joy to the Lord. Sing to the rock of Yeshua, the Lord, great King, and I know great among God's indeed. You are the King, you're the King of everything. You are the King, you're the King of everything. Sing among the nations now, the world is firm, we cannot be moved. For he comes to judge all the earth, judge the world, the people within truth. Amen, amen. You are the King, you're the King of everything. Amen, amen. You are the King, you're the King of everything. Amen, amen. You are the King, you're the King of everything. Amen, amen.
page.
I have installed my king upon Zion, my holy mountain. I will surely tell of the decree of the Lord. He said to me, "You are my son. Today I have begotten you. Ask of me, and I will surely give the Gentiles as an inheritance, the ends of the earth as your possession. You will break them with a rod of iron and shatter them like earthenware. Show discernment, take warning. Worship the Lord with awe and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son, lest he become angry, and he will perish in the way, for his wrath may soon be kindled. How blessed are all who take refuge in him."
Congregation?
Therefore, God highly exalted him and bestowed on him the name which is above every name, that at the name of Yeshua every knee should bow, and those who are in heaven and on earth and under the earth, and that every tongue should confess that Yeshua the Messiah is the Lord.
Please stand. Please stand. Because we're proclaiming God as King. So you stand before the King. You don't sit in front of the King, you stand before the King. Together. Kisaka Elohim Le'olam Ha'ed. Shevet Mishor Shevet Malchut Echad. Your throne, O God, is forever. A scepter of justice, the scepter of your kingdom. You may be seated. I had a dream last night, and I've been trying all day long to figure out how to put it into words, and I still can't do it. We were in this service, and there was a big, beautiful ark with Torah scrolls in it, and they were ours. They were our Torah scrolls. And I turned, during Avinu Malkeinu, you go to the ark. Because this is prayer when you're like going into the holy place to ask God for stuff. Avinu Malkeinu, our Father, our King. We're proclaiming Him to be our Father and our King. So I turned and I went toward the ark and I took out this big, huge thing. And I can't describe. It was like a banana chip. You know, like when they drive out banana chips and they, and they're kind of curvy. It was like a big, huge banana chip, but it was the Torah scroll. And it wasn't just the Torah scroll, it sounds so dumb. It was the meat, the flesh of Yeshua. And it was like a big, giant banana chip. And it was white, like off-white. And everybody was going to go break off a chunk and eat it. And it was like we were all doing like, oh, this is the thing to do. Everybody does is they break off a piece of banana chip and eat Jesus. It was just the thing to do. And everybody knew what was happening, and everybody was there specifically to eat from the Torah, to eat from Yeshua. And they were exactly the same thing. They were the same substance. They were the same. They tasted the same. They were the same. We got it from the ark, where the Torah scrolls are. We got Jesus from the ark, where the Torah scrolls are. So it was very odd, but when I woke up, I was like, my attitude was like this. Yeah! Yes! Like when you have a really good meal, and your wife makes a great meal, and you go, yeah! Well, or your husband, and your husband makes it like that. Yes! And it was like that, and everybody had that attitude, and this is what was weird. That wasn't weird. This is what was weird. It spread. Like, it spread. And everybody as far as the eye could see was eating banana chips from the Torah scroll. Eating from Yeshua, which was the Torah scroll. But it spread really, really quick. And I woke up very happy. And full, actually. So, during Avinu Malkeinu, you're going to hate this, we stand again. Because we're before the King. Anytime you go before the King, you stand. I'm going to say the Avinu Malkeinu, and you're going to say the portion afterwards. Avinu Malkeinu.
We have sinned before you.
Avinu Malkeinu.
We have not been accepted you.
Avinu Malkeinu.
Jesus, kindly for the sake of your holy name.
Avinu Malkeinu.
Renew us unto the year of the Lord.
Avinu Malkeinu.
Annul every evil decree
Avinu Malkeinu.
Lead us unto the year of good.
Avinu Malkeinu.
Annul every evil decree against us.
Avinu Malkeinu.
Annul the intentions of our enemies.
Avinu Malkeinu.
Wipe out all our oppressors and adversaries.
Avinu Malkeinu.
Remove us the sword, famine, and captivity.
Avinu Malkeinu.
Forgive and pardon all our iniquities.
Avinu Malkeinu.
Blot out all our transgressions and remove all our sins before your face.
Avinu Malkeinu.
And abundant mercy erase all record of guilt.
Avinu Malkeinu.
May we return to you in perfect repentance.
Avinu Malkeinu.
Send a perfect healing to the sick among your people.
Avinu Malkeinu.
Reveal any evil sentence decreed against us.
Avinu Malkeinu.
Remember us favorably before you.
Avinu Malkeinu.
Inscribe us in the book of life.
Avinu Malkeinu.
Inscribe us in the book of freedom and salvation.
Avinu Malkeinu.
Exalt the majesty of our holy anointed Redeemer, Messiah Yeshua.
Avinu Malkeinu.
Open the gates of heaven to receive our prayers.
Avinu Malkeinu.
Be gracious to us and answer us, for we have no merit. Deal mercifully and kindly with us and answer us.
Avinu Malkeinu. Avinu Malkeinu. Avinu Malkeinu. Haneinu Malkeinu. Emanu Masi.
Those of you who have verses for Zikronot, come on up. Who has Exodus 3:24? Oh my goodness. Can somebody read Exodus 2:24? I know I assigned Leviticus, right? Who's got Leviticus? Okay. Somebody do Exodus 2:24, please.
Exodus 2:24. God heard their groaning and remembered his covenant with Abraham and Isaac and Jacob.
Leviticus.
I will remember my covenant with Jacob and my covenant, with Isaac and my covenant, with Abraham, and I will remember the land. But for their sake, I will remember the covenant with their ancestors when I brought them out of Egypt from the sight of the nations to be their God. I am the Lord.
The two Psalm messages. Who had that? Okay, can somebody do Psalm 106:45, please?
For their sake he remembered his covenant, and out of his great love he relented.
Psalm 111:4-5.
He has made his wonders to be remembered. The Lord is gracious and compassionate. He has given food to those who fear him. He will remember his covenant forever.
Jeremiah 2:2.
Go and cry in the ears of Jerusalem, saying, Thus says the Lord, I remember thee, the kindness of thy youth, the love of thine espousals, when you went after me in the wilderness, in a land that was not sown.
Jeremiah 31.
Is Ephraim my dear son? Is he a pleasant child? For since I spake against him, I do earnestly remember him still. Therefore my bowels are troubled for him, and I will surely have mercy upon him, saith the Lord.
Ezekiel 16.
Nevertheless, I will remember my covenant with thee in the days of the youth, and I will establish into thee an everlasting covenant.
Together. Remember those who seek you
And grant them life.
Bless them with strength and mercy. Remember Jerusalem, the tabernacle of Shalom, and your house that now lies desolate. Quickly rebuild it and establish it securely. Then so one of the reasons that the shofar is blown is for remembrance. It's like to get, I hate to say it this way, but to get God's attention, so to speak. We're speaking metaphorically. To metaphorically get God's attention so that he remembers, and memory doesn't just go back. In Judaism, it goes forward at the same time. So it's to get God to remember what's going to happen in the future also. You remember every deed, recall all that was created in ancient days. Before you are revealed all the hidden things and the many myriad billions of secrets from the beginning of creation, for there is no forgetting before your throne of glory. There is no forgetting before your throne of glory. There is no forgetting before your throne of glory. Nor anything concealed from your sight. Everything is known and revealed before you, Lord our God. You bring a set time of remembrance for every soul, so that every deed of every creature is remembered. This day is the beginning of your work. This day is the beginning of your work, which I'm going to show you. A memorial, a remembrance of the first day. A decree for Israel, a day of judgment for the God of Yaakov. Concerning countries, judgment is pronounced on this day. Which for war, which for peace, which for famine, which for plenty. And on it all creatures are remembered for life or death. Who is not remembered on this day? For every creature comes before you. Men's deeds and the thoughts of men and their schemes and the motives of every act. That's kind of a frightening thought. Happy is the man who does not forget you. On this day every creature comes before you, and you examine the deeds of all of them. Remember your covenant made through Yeshua, that all mankind who seek you may pass from death and enter into life eternal. Amen. Shofar verses. This is the third part of the prayers. Shofar is the ram's horn trumpet. Who's got Genesis 22?
I got it.
Do it.
And he said, do not rise your hand against the boy or do anything to him. For now I know that you fear God, since you have not withheld your son, your favorite one, from me. When Abraham looked up his eyes fell upon a ram caught in the thick by his horns. Then Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up as a burnt offering in place of his son.
That is where the shofar comes from, that they call the last trump. I'm not going to tell the whole story, but that's where it comes from. Exodus 19, 16 and 19. Who's got that? Exodus 19, 16 and 19. I don't have the Bible, guys. You got to do it.
On the morning of the third day, there was thunder and lightning with a big cloud over the mountain and a very loud blast. Everyone in the camp trembled. Verse 19. As the sound of the trumpet grew louder and louder, Moses spoke, and the voice of God answered.
Actually, it says in Hebrew, and God answered like kolot, which means voices plural. It is not singular voice, it's plural voices. Guess how many languages he spoke in? 70. This was on Shavuot. God spoke in tongues on Shavuot. That's why he did the same thing in Acts chapter 2. That wasn't the first time it happened. The first time it happened was in Shavuot in Exodus. All right, Psalm 47.
Elohim has ascended amid shouts of joy, Yahweh amid the sounding of trumpets.
Psalm 81, 3 through 4.
Sound the ram's horn at the new moon, and when the moon is full, on the day of our feast. This is the decree for Israel, an ordinance for the Elohim of Jacob.
Okay, it does not say the full moon. That translation has it wrong. It says, on Yom HaKisei, the concealed moon, which is this day. Where that Bible translates it full moon, it's not full moon. It's the new moon. It's Yom HaKisei, the covered, concealed moon. All right, Isaiah 18:3. Sorry, Psalm 98:6. Thank you.
With trumpets and blast of the ram's horn, shout by the noise before the Lord, the King.
Isaiah 18:3.
All you inhabitants of the world and dwellers on earth, when a banner is raised on the mountains, look. When a shofar is blown, listen.
I also have to fix that translation. What it says in Hebrew is, all you dwellers on the earth and those in the earth. In other words, the living and the dead. When the shofar is blown, you, dead and living, will hear it. That is a resurrection verse. Jeremiah 4:19-21.
My stomach, I writhe in anguish, the pain of my heart. My heart is pounding within me. I cannot keep silent because I have heard, O my soul, the sound of the shofar, the battle cry of war. Disaster on disaster is reported, so the whole land is ruined. My tents are suddenly ravaged, my curtains in an instant. How long must I see the battle standard and hear the sound of the shofar?
Yes. Ezekiel 33:2-4.
Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon a land, if the people of the land take a man of their coasts, and set him for their watchman, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet, and warn the people forth. Then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpets, and taketh not warning, if the sword come, and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head.
This is painting a picture, isn't it? Amos 3:6.
When a trumpet sounds in a city, do not the people tremble? When disaster comes to a city, has not Yah caused it?
Everyone stand, please. Now we're going to hear the sounds of the shofar. There are three specific sounds. We say the prayer together first. Top of page 18. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lishmoa kol shofar. Blessed are you, Lord our God, everlasting King, who has set us apart by your establishment and charge us to hear the sound of the shofar together. Give heed to the sound of the shofar, the sharp, piercing blasts of the shofar, rending the air with its message of heavenly salvation, summoning man to his Father to give him honor and devotion. Renounce all your sins and transgressions, false aims, striving for glory, infusing your hearts with a new spirit to build a new heaven and new earth. Heed the sound of the shofar, the blast that is blown, all my people. I'm going to call the shofar notes, and Daniel's going to play those or sound those notes after I call them. Tekiah, Shavarim, Teruah, Tekiah, Tekiah, Shavarim, Tekiah, Tekiah, Shavarim, Tekiah. So that one was for which note? Which note was that for? That set. Look what we read. Look what we read. Give heed to the sound of the shofar, the sharp, piercing blast. Which one is that? Is that Tekiah, Shavarim, or Teruah? That's Tekiah. Right, together. Today is the birthday of the world. Today, all creatures, whether as children of God or as servants, if as children, be merciful with us, as the mercy of a father for his children. If as servants, our eyes look toward and depend upon you until you be gracious to us and release our verdict. Clear and pure as light, O awesome and holy one. Together. Give heed to the blast of the shofar, the shrill, quivering notes of the shofar, sounding its message of warning, its cry of alarm and awakening, urging us to work with our brothers and all about the ills that beset us. Heed the sound of the shofar, the blast that is blown, all my people. Daniel, come here. Tekiah, Shavarim, Tekiah, Tekiah, Shavarim, Tekiah, Tekiah, Shavarim, Tekiah. Which one was that for? Which one was that for? Shavarim. Together. Give heed to the blast of the shofar, the loud wake-up call of the shofar, bringing bright hope to the people long scattered, stricken with sorrow, comforting Israel with the promise of healing and redemption. Renew faith in God's covenant that made you a nation through Torah. Return to God to establish a kingdom of peace to all peoples. Heed the sound of the shofar, the blast that is blown by my people. Tekiah, Teruah, Tekiah, Tekiah, Teruah, Tekiah, Tekiah, Teruah. Tekiah Gedolah. Beautiful. Ashrei ha'am yodea teruah. Ashrei ha'am yodea teruah. Happy is the people who know the sound that wakes us up. Adonai ba'or panecha yahal b'chom. Happy is the people. That is strange words. Happy is the people who know the sounding awakening blast. In the light of your Spirit, O Lord, they shall walk. By your servants, the prophets, it is written, those who inhabit the world and you who dwell in the earth. When the banner is raised on the mountain, you will see it. When the shofar is blown, you who live in the earth will hear it. Strange, amazing words. That's all about the resurrection. You may not know this, but this is the day set aside that Jews have known for 4,000 years. I'm going to be able to see this. The Jews have known for 4,000 years that this is the day set aside for the resurrection. Return, O Israel. Turn your heart, return to God. Blow the shofar in Zion. The time of repentance has come. Oh, I think somebody else was going to read this. Have mercy on Zion. If I didn't assign somebody, can somebody read that, please? Because I've got no voice right now. Can somebody read that, please? Up here in the.
Sure, Michael, I'll take it. Have mercy on Zion.
Page 20.
Page 20. You're right.
Page 20.
Yes, please. Praise Tehayenu Hashienu. Have mercy on Zion, for it is the source of our life. To the one deeply humiliated, bring salvation speedily in our days. Blessed are you, Lord, who gladden Zion for your children. Gladden us, O Lord our God, with Eliyahu the prophet, your servant, who shall restore all things into the kingdom of the house of David, your anointed, the Messiah. May he come speedily and cause our hearts to exult. On David's throne let no stranger sit, nor let others continue to inherit his honor. For by your holy name you swore to him that his heir shall not be extinguished forever. Blessed are you, Lord, shield of David.
for the scriptures, for the prayer service, for the words for the prophets, and for this Yom Zikaron, day of remembrance, that you have given us your glory and splendor. We gratefully thank and bless you. May your name be blessed by all the living forever, by your word, for your word is true and endures forever. Blessed are you, Lord, who sets apart Israel in Yom HaZikaron. Thank you. Thank you, Dan.
21.
I'm going to teach now. Now, we're going to start the service. Can we get the podium, please? Let's get started.
Let's just work on it. I hope you don't work tomorrow. I'm tired. Enjoy it.
Can you bring me my Bible and the what's in my Bible? Is what I need. Test. It's not on yet. Hold on. Test. Testing. Taste. Banana chips of the Torah scroll, which is Yeshua. Test. All right. The first slide in the teaching is for Chaim Goldman, and for all the other people on the internet who don't know what Rosh Hashanah is really. And I explained to Chaim, I said, this is really simple. It's real. I can explain it very, very, very simply. I went on the internet. Oh, thank you very much. I was on the internet, on Facebook, Messenger, and stuff like that, and I didn't know how few people know what Rosh Hashanah is. I thought everybody knew because I learned it back in 85 or 84. Back in 1984, and I was like, well, that changes my life. That makes perfect sense. And everything built off of that. When we got married in 1986. Eileen and I got married a week before Rosh Hashanah. We wanted to get married on Rosh Hashanah, but our spiritual leader wouldn't allow us to. So you got to get married a week early because you can't have two big festival things on one day. So we got married as close to Rosh Hashanah as we could. Rosh Hashanah is very important. Not just to me and my wife, but it's very important to believers, it's very important to God. And I thought everybody knew. I mean, like, where to find it in the Bible. I thought everybody knew where Rosh Hashanah was in the Bible, but a lot of people don't. So I was on Facebook and I did a little quiz. At first I went, some guy asked, well, can you tell us where the verses are in the Bible? I said, no. Go look them up. Go study. Go find them. Here's the clues. And I gave the clues. I said, no, go study. Go find them. Go. So that didn't go over well. So then I went on Facebook and I wrote, guys, come on. Everybody told me they love to study the Bible. But that's not what I'm seeing. What I'm seeing is people like to be fed on the internet, like just told stuff on the internet, instead of digging in the Bible. Well, when I started studying the Bible, I didn't have no internet. I had a concordance this big, a list of every single word in the Bible. So if I wanted to know what a sandal meant, what it's a picture of, I read every single verse in the Bible about sandals. And I made a list. It means this, it means this, it means this. I just stood back and looked at it and went, oh, okay, that tells me a story. Well, I did the same thing with Rosh Hashanah. And it was simple. It paints a very clear story. All right, so here's the basic scriptures that tell, are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready? This is awesome. It's very simple, but it's awesome. These are the basic scriptures that are that tell us what Rosh Hashanah is. If you don't have a Bible, it's going to be hard to follow.
because I don't have all the verses up here. Sometimes I just put a part of it. Exodus 23, verse 16. People read this, they read right over it, they don't really see what it's saying, and so they don't get that it's about Rosh Hashanah. Can you do me a favor, hon? Can you hand me my glasses from my tally bag? 23:16. It says, also you shall observe the Feast of Harvest. Now this is Shavuot. It says in Hebrew the Feast of Shavuot, Chag Shavuot. Thank you. Of the first fruits of your labors, from what you sow in the field. Also, Chag HaKatsir, which means Feast of Ingathering, at the end of the year. I have it in Hebrew for you so you can see what that says. End of the year. It's B'tzet Hashanah. B'tzet literally means the end. At the end of the year. What festival here is at the end of the year? What festival here is at the end of the year?
The Feast of the Ingathering.
Thank you, Michael. The Feast of the Ingathering. What festival is at the end of the year? That's Sukkot. That happens in 15 days. Well, how can it be the end of the year if the beginning of the year is in spring? You see it? Sukkot is at the end of the year. Like December 31st is the end of the normal year. What's the beginning of the year? January 1. So this is, like we turn it into America speak. This is saying Sukkot is at the end of the year, the end of December. It's not December, it's Tishri. Sukkot is the seventh month. This month, the Rosh Hashanah begins. But it says it's at the end of the year. It doesn't say it's in the middle of the year. If the beginning of the year is in spring, it would say Feast of Ingathering in the middle of the year. It's just one verse, but it's at the end of the year. But Set Hashanah, when you gather in the work of your fields. All right, Exodus 34, 22. Exodus 34, 22. I'm making this as simple as I possibly can. As simple as I possibly can. Exodus 34, 22. If you know the festivals, you should be able to follow this very, very easily. You shall celebrate the Feast of Weeks again, Shavuot, the first fruits of the wheat harvest, and Chag HaKatsir. Let's see. Chag, here it says just Katsir. The Kori Katsir Hito. The Chag HaAsef. Now here, it calls it Chag HaAsif, which means the ingathering, or like making a sheaf, making a bundle. And that's Sukkot again. The Feast of Ingathering, or the Feast of Ha'asif, at the turn of the year. Tikufat Hashanah, the turn of the year. In the American calendar, when's the turn of the year? When's the turn of the year? December to January. That's the turn of the year. This is the same exact thing. It puts Sukkot, which is in 15 days, at the turn of the year, at the end of the year. Follow that? Does that make sense? It's at the end of the year. Now go to 2 Samuel 11. Now, a lot of Bibles say it happened in spring, at the time when kings go out to battle. That's not what it says in Hebrew at all. It says, and it was at the return of the year. Teshuvat Hashanah. When's the return of the year in the American calendar? December, January. Well, in the Jewish calendar, in this Jewish calendar, it's at this month. This is why it's called Rosh Hashanah, the head of the year. Because Sukkot is at B'tzet Hashanah, and Sukkot again is in 15 days. Not 7 months, 15 days. the same month that we're in right now. It's called Set Hashanah, Ufat Hashanah, Tishuvat Hashanah, the return of it. 3 different words that mean all the same thing. They're all synonyms for the same thing. At the end of the year. End of the year. So if it's at the end of the year, it's the beginning of the year. Does that make sense? It's like December 31st to January 1. Now go to this. Now this one. This one. I cannot tell you how many times I read on the internet the Bible. And by the way, this is by Messianic Jews. The Bible never says Rosh Hashanah. Yes, it does. It's absurd. It most certainly does. And it's in the best prophecy in all of Ezekiel. The one that's in the last 8 chapters that's all about the kingdom. This prophecy is all about the kingdom temple. And it goes into tons of detail about the kingdom temple. This is what it says. In the 25th year of our captivity, at the Rosh Hashanah. That's what it says. The Rosh Hashanah. The Rosh Hashanah. They translate it in the beginning of the year. In the 10th day of the month. What day of the month is Rosh Hashanah? What day? What day? First. This says, right, first 2 days. Very good. This says the Rosh Hashanah in the 10th day of the month. That's Yom Kippur. But it calls it what? Say in Hebrew. It calls it Rosh Hashanah. It calls Yom Kippur, which occurs next Friday, 10 days after Rosh Hashanah. It calls Yom Kippur Rosh Hashanah. Bizarre, yes? That's what it says. The Esrim B'Chamesh in the 25th Shema year. Legalut of our captivity, Gelutenu. The Rosh Hashanah, the Esor Lachodesh, the 10th of the month. It calls Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. Here's why. Yom Kippur is a Rosh Hashanah. Yom Kippur is a first day. There's several first days of the year. There's the first day of, which is Rosh Hashanah, the first day of the year, civil year. There's the new year for grains in spring. There's the new year for trees in, when is that?
January.
February. It's around February, January. And then there's a new year for the release of debts, for the Jubilee. And it even says it in Nehemiah that at Yom Kippur, they all gathered, actually gathered on Rosh Hashanah, and they stayed there, and they gathered on Yom Kippur, and they read the Torah, and they released all the debts, just like it says in the book of the Torah. So it's not weird that it says the Rosh Hashanah and it's Yom Kippur, because Yom Kippur is a Rosh Hashanah every 7 years at the release of debts, and this was one of them. Now, if you couldn't follow that Sukkot, which is the 7th month, this month is the end, the beginning, the turn, the return of the year, then you've got too many preconceived ideas to just